Litecoin is the next cryptocurrency I believe that is going to take off in 2025. And in this video today, I'm going to show you exactly why, through various charts and graphs, why Litecoin will be the cryptocurrency of this year. So guys, let's jump straight into it. And let's start off, guys, with a little bit background information on Litecoin, and I'm going to give my personal view on Litecoin as well. Then we are going to dive into some charts where we are going to have a look at the miners who are selling Litecoin or who are not selling Litecoin anymore. We are going to have a look at the network value. We are going to have a look at various charts, Litecoin against US dollar, against Ethereum, against Bitcoin, so we can have a really good overview on what is going on with Litecoin and why Litecoin is basically presenting a very unique opportunity, and why Litecoin maybe could do a XRP style move that we have already seen with XRP. So first of all, guys, Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin. It's one of the first cryptocurrencies out there. So it came quite quickly after Bitcoin. I think Litecoin was launched I believe in 2013. It is a fork of Bitcoin. The total supply of Litecoin is a little bit higher than Bitcoin. The transaction fees is lower than Bitcoin. And one of the important narratives that Litecoin often had is that Litecoin is the silver to Bitcoin's gold. So the interesting thing right here is that Litecoin has already right now a very long history of being present in the markets, of having a blockchain with uptime. So we see, for example, some things like XRP recently, the system went down. Well, these are things that actually never happened with Litecoin. And that just shows strength. That, of course, increased the confidence for people into such a token. And yeah, let's have a look at the price, guys. Let's have a look how Litecoin moved in 2017. Because in 2017 or 16, when I was starting with crypto, Litecoin was a very big token, a very big spoken about token, a very important token. And it looks like that during the years after 2017, it faded more to the background, and it wasn't really a token anymore where a lot of people were talking about. But I believe that right now that is coming back. So guys, let's first have a look at some on-chain metrics, and then we are going to have a look at the price charts. So guys, let's start with this chart. This is a very simple chart. What we can see is three different lines. The first one is the network value of Litecoin. That is a calculation from the transaction volume and so on. That one is going up, as you can see. The blue one is the price of Litecoin, and the red one, which is coming down, is basically the amount of Litecoin that miners are holding. So what we can see from this graph that is pretty interesting is that, generally speaking, Litecoin's price was very correlated to the network value calculation, the yellow line, right? But at this specific moment, there became a split. We saw a split where the price suddenly comes down, but the network value continues to go up. And that is most likely because of the miners that have been selling Litecoin pretty aggressively. So that is what we can see in this chart. So miners also are having a less supply of Litecoin to sell, which eventually means that there will be lower selling pressure for Litecoin, right? Then guys, we can have a look at this chart. This is shared by lookintolitecoin.com. And what we can see right here as well is that there is a big divergence between Litecoin's network value and Litecoin's price. So Litecoin's network value is the white line right here, and Litecoin's price is the blue line right here. And what we can see is that they used to be very correlated, like very much correlated, but then exactly at the moment where we see that split happening, because miners have been offloading their Litecoins, we can see that the network value has continued to increase, but the price hasn't followed. And this is, of course, a very bullish sign in the long term, because eventually, when adoption of a certain cryptocurrency is increasing and the fundamental value of that cryptocurrency is increasing, but investors just haven't catched up yet because it's not in the narrative, it's not in the news, it's not popular, then that's, of course, a very good moment to start entering Litecoin, because it can come back, this divergence can come back as a magnet to the network value. So this specific picture from lookintolitecoin.com, they actually say that Litecoin could reach 8,300 US dollars. Is that possible? It's definitely possible. I personally believe for right now, especially for this year, that's definitely a very high target. So I always want to be a little bit realistic as well, but the divergence is very important, and the most important thing of this story, basically, that Litecoin most likely has been very, very undervalued. Now, guys, we are going to the Litecoin chart, and this one is also very interesting. I have a lot of things that I can share about this chart, which I personally believe are very, very interesting. So first of all, guys, we see here, and this is pretty unique in crypto, we see here a triangle formation since 2017. That is a crazy long consolidation, right? So most of the charts don't have that. The reason why, because most coins were not trading in 2016 and 2017. Most coins were created later. Right, so like I said, Litecoin was a very important token in 2017, because in March, and this is something I will come back to in a sec, March 2017, it rallied over 10,000%. 10,000%. So that's how important the token was. That's how many people were talking about it, how many investors, and so on. And from there on, from 2017, from there on, we have been consolidating. We have been going up in 2021, and we did not really make new highs. We just tested the previous all-time highs. But we have been in this triangle formation, and that is something that we also see with XRP. XRP has been in a triangle formation since 2017. For the ones that don't know about that, I can just overlay it right here, so we can just have a look at this. XRP is the pink line right here, and what we can see, I can draw some lines right here. We also have, it depends a little bit on which chart you are looking, but we also have like a kind of a triangle formation from the time period similar as to Litecoin, right? But the only difference right now is that XRP already broke out. Litecoin has not yet broken out. That's why I also said I believe Litecoin can make an XRP style of move, because I believe we are going to see a breakout from this triangle formation. And Litecoin has been acting very similar as to XRP, which is very promising if you ask me. Also, the time period, this is something important as well. The time period when Litecoin rallied, that was in March 2017. Well, right now we are in February, we are approaching March, and I definitely believe that seasonality is an important thing when looking at the charts, and I believe that this chart could take off in March as well, maybe even earlier, maybe even already in February. Maybe it takes a little bit longer until we are really seeing a full-blown altcoin season, but I personally think this chart is looking good and very unique, because there are not many cryptos that are this old, consolidating in that long of a pattern, and some indicators already are already showing a breakout. So first of all, on the relative strength index is not that clear yet. We just overshoot the resistance right here, but we haven't really been able to hold support. Maybe you want to draw the resistance difference, so we have a multiple overshoots. That's possible. But if we have a look at the other momentum indicator, that is this one, then we can see a more clearer already breaking out. So we have this declining resistance, which is starting from 2017, And then we are coming down. We have 1 touch, 2, 3, 4 touches with this resistance. Every time getting rejected quite precisely from this resistance. Right now we have been breaking above this resistance. And not yet breaking below it again. So now it's the moment that this has to hold as support. Right, and the crazy thing, guys, this is something that I've recognized very early on in my trading career, also in 2017, is that you often see momentum indicators break out before the price follows. So there can sometimes be a lagging effect. And I believe the OBV, the unbalanced volume, generally also is a nice indicator. Also shows strength. So we also have some resistance right here that we broke out to the upside. So that is around a similar period. So we do see some indicators outside the price graph that are breaking out right now. So I really hope the price will follow. I think Litecoin is very undervalued right now. It's now trading at $107 US. And let's have a look at some technical targets, guys, because that's also very interesting. I'm just going to start with the most craziest target, the technical target of a triangle formation. That is the width of the triangle. Put at the point of breakout. So let's say we would break out right here somewhere. That would set the target at roughly $2,000 US per Litecoin. Do I think Litecoin can reach that this bull market? Yeah, I definitely think Litecoin can reach that. But of course, there are a lot of hurdles along the way. So we first have to break 140. Then we have to get above probably about 290 this high. Then we have the 400 level. And of course, once we break above the 400 level, if we can do something like this, then we are most likely in the parabolic phase, because we are in price discovery. We are in price levels we have never seen before. That probably goes along with very much bullish news on Litecoin. Crazy news, maybe. It might get higher in the rank of coin market cap in terms of cryptocurrencies. But I believe that these old tokens that have a very long track record can make a big comeback. And they also feel quite nostalgic, if you ask me. I am here already since 2016. And Litecoin and other coins like Dash have been very important in that bull market of 2016, 2017, and I forgot about these tokens in the previous bull markets as well. But right now, looking at the charts, it's just like, wow, I really like that we have a very long track record and a very long pattern. So pattern of 2025 is now 2027. We started this pattern. There's a consolidation of 7 to 8 years. 7 to 8 years. Crypto is not even that old. So this is really significant. If you look at this chart in 10 years or something, it will be very significant what's happening here. We are very early with coins like Litecoin. Then another thing, guys, that's very interesting with Litecoin is, of course, a tweet. That's first of all, I wanted to share this one. A tweet of BlackRock, which they shared in 2014. So actually, guys, I said earlier Litecoin is from 2013, but actually Litecoin is from 2011. So it was really early, really early. And BlackRock basically tweeted about it in 2014, stating that first Bitcoin, now Litecoin. Will cryptocurrency overtake Bitcoin this year? The thing is, they are aware. They are already aware of Litecoin. Of course, they are aware, but they're also publicly coming out and tweeting about it. It's just very interesting. They wrote an article about it as well. And another thing that's happening with Litecoin is there are 3 ETFs waiting to get approved for Litecoin as well, spot ETFs. And the first that could be approved could be in March. So there has already been some spot ETFs filings for Litecoin. They already have been, or at least one of them has been accepted by the SEC. And the first moment that the SEC has to make comments or has to approve it and so forth, that is going to be in March. That's going to be the first moment. So that's going to be very interesting, right? And also Grayscale, they had a Litecoin trust, and they also applied with the NYSE to change that Litecoin trust into a Litecoin spot ETF. So it looks like that the silver of Bitcoin is getting some traction. Institutions already lining up to do something with this token. I personally believe that looking at this story, looking at the behavior of institutions, and looking at the chart of Litecoin, I believe that this is a very positive development that we are seeing, and a unique opportunity to basically gain with a good trade. Then guys, we are going to another chart, because we have to look at Litecoin in relationship to other tokens. That's very important, and to the dominance or what's going on, what has been happening with Litecoin. And what we see right here, this is the Litecoin dominance. The Litecoin dominance has been in a long bleed, right? Long bleed, but right now it looks like potentially this bleed is coming to an end. Here we had a nice rounding bottom, trying to break resistance, didn't work. Now we have a nice rounding bottom, and we are having the momentum indicators definitely in our favor. Like, the momentum indicators are coming up, the relative strength index is coming up. That basically tells us that in the background of this chart, the momentum is shifting more bullishness, while the chart is actually going down. So I believe this one can actually break out to the upside and eventually go higher right here. The target of this formation would be the top of this formation. And that would be quite a big increase, because the Litecoin dominance right now is 0.25%. So there's a lot of room for growth, and the target from this formation is 3%. And it makes sense that Litecoin's market cap would roughly be 3% of the market cap of crypto, because it has been such a fundamental token in this whole space. It was there in 2011. It's one of the first tokens out there, and there is institutional interest. I believe that those are very big things. So I think once this thing goes, it can really go. It can definitely. This is a pretty realistic outcome to break out and to get a 3% market share in crypto for the silver token to Bitcoin's gold. I really believe that's going to be that's a probable scenario and a realistic scenario, instead of saying like it's going to 8,000 and somewhat euro, which will be of course more difficult. But let's have a look at Litecoin's relationship with Ethereum, because this is actually a very interesting chart. Because when we have a look at Litecoin against Ethereum, we have been going down since 2019. We have been going in a declining channel, but when we are looking at the recent developments, we can actually see that we broke this declining channel. So maybe this is already one of the first signals that actually tells us like Litecoin is breaking out against Ethereum. Ethereum, the second biggest token. This shows us that Litecoin's value will probably increase harder than the value of Ethereum. And why do I like this chart, guys? Because I actually used the chart of XRP as well. So what we did actually before we went into XRP was trading at these levels. I was like, yo, this is a huge buying opportunity. But when XRP broke out right here, that's really good buying opportunity, because it shows that XRP is breaking out against Ethereum. So right now, again, it looks like that Litecoin already broke out against Ethereum as well, which means that Litecoin is showing more strength than Ethereum, and that most likely later on this year, the value of Litecoin in comparison to Ethereum will have been growing harder. So that's why that chart will go up, right? If we go back to Litecoin USD to ETH USD, I would rather hold Litecoin than Ethereum when I look this chart, and that is really, really important. So, but then we can see a little bit the relationship of this token compared to other tokens. We can also do Litecoin against Bitcoin. That looks pretty similar as to the Litecoin dominance. Not completely, because this one has a deeper U shape right here, and it's more like a channel rather than a falling wedge. But it's pretty similar. Momentum is coming up. Momentum is coming up. Nice U shape. If we zoom in, let me check. Do I have another chart of this? Yeah, here we have another chart. What happens when we zoom in, for example, on a daily time frame? This is what I also really like. Like, we had this massive capitulation event, right? Where a lot of people got liquidated. And we can see the wick in Litecoin too. Litecoin has not been an exception, but look how quick Litecoin has been bought up. It has been bought up, and the close of the candle was above this white line, which means that we are still in this triangle formation, and it looks like that this one is not bleeding that much against Bitcoin. No, in fact, it's showing a lot of strength, and I believe this can break out to the upside, which tells us basically that Litecoin's valuation against Bitcoin will increase, so it will be more lucrative or more profitable to hold Litecoin. We have not yet seen that breakout, so that's something we have to think of. We have not yet seen this breakout, so probably once we are breaking out, we will have more conviction. We can be more confident with our position. If this breaks down, that will of course invalidate. Maybe we are going to see first another low before we can maybe turn around again. But so far, a lot of things are lining up, and this is what I actually like. What I generally like is that I'm going to summarize it all for you. Let me make my screen a little bit bigger, guys. Guys, if you like Litecoin, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below, and let me know in the comment section what you think. But a lot of things are lining up for Litecoin, and I want to start off with the fundamental aspect that Litecoin has a very long track record. And that, of course, brings a lot of confidence among investors, right? People don't believe that they are going to lose all their money investing in Litecoin. If you buy a more recent altcoin, you probably have more the idea like, okay, this thing can go to zero. Litecoin has already a long track record of proving itself. Then we have the timing band. The timing band is very important because Litecoin, we are approaching March. Bitcoin already broke its all-time highs. We are getting closer to altcoin season. March is generally where Litecoin has seen massive rallies. We are approaching March. It's another nice signal. Then we have the consolidation, the 7 years consolidation of this old token, which XRP had as well, but already broke out, probably front running Litecoin. Another good sign. Then we have the network value, the other charts that I showed you, the miners that have been selling Litecoin, so there is less Litecoin with the miners. The network value is high. There's a divergence between the network value and the price of Litecoin, the gap can be closed again, which means that Litecoin will go higher. That's already like a couple of good reasons. Then we have the charting reasons that we already see the momentum breaking out. We already see Litecoin breaking out against Ethereum, and Litecoin dominance and Litecoin against Bitcoin also start to look very good. And what else do we got? Well, we got a very good narrative coming up. That is that there are 3 Litecoin ETFs in the waiting line, waiting to be approved, which that news can also come out any moment. And of course, probably a lot of institutions and big players, they would like to use the liquidity they gained with Bitcoin, the profits that they gained with Bitcoin. They are going to look for smaller projects that are pretty safe, but that they can make more gains of. And Litecoin is like the perfect example for that, because we have all these things lining up, narratives and so on. If you would drop your Bitcoin holdings, like a part of your Bitcoin holdings, into Litecoin, because the market cap of Litecoin is smaller, you need less liquidity to pump the price and eventually make higher profits than that you can make with Bitcoin. So sooner or later in the cycle, institutions and retail are going to look for opportunities to make more money. Litecoin will be a safe option, if you ask me. And I've been using Litecoin as well, like sending some transactions. The transactions fee is very small, uncomparable with Bitcoin. And it's pretty easy to use, actually. So yeah, of course, guys, this is important. This is not financial advice. There are no guarantees in the market. That's just how the game works. We got to embrace that. So everything that I said in today's video, will it happen for sure? No, definitely not. But when I'm looking at all these things, when I'm having my background of experience, and when we made some good calls with Sui and XRP, I believe Litecoin can be one of the next ones, and I'm personally positioned for this token. Guys, if you want to buy Litecoin, I'm recommending 3 exchanges down below this video: Bybit, Phoenix, and Bitunix. You can buy Litecoin on all of these exchanges. If you don't mind any KYC, Bybit is the way to go, or the Phoenix platform. If you don't want any KYC, then Bitunix is probably one of the only options where you can buy these tokens without having to verify your account with a passport. Always be careful, guys. Never leave too much money on an exchange. Always diversify maybe into various exchanges, but have most of your money on a cold storage, on a ledger device, or on a another hardware wallet. That's really important, because if something ever happens with these exchanges, it's not in your power, but they do hold your cash, or hold your wealth, hold your crypto. Right? So you don't want to be dependent on these platforms. So if you have all your crypto in one of these exchanges, I would personally say buy a hardware wallet, something, then you make some more transactions, but also make sure you know how to use these hardware wallets, and you do your research, that you don't make mistakes over with that as well. Very important time, guys. Very important time to take responsibility for yourself. And yeah, that was it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, smash up the like button. That's very much appreciated. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I wish you all a beautiful day today. And I hope to see every single one of you in the next video. Bye bye.